Hey guys, TrinityC here, coming at you with another video. Back on Pokemon Day this year, being 2026, we got the official reveal of Pokemon Winds and Waves, along with the starter Pokemon for Generation 10, being Browt, Pombon, and Gecqua. And while we haven't had any news regarding Winds and Waves since the initial reveal, one thing that everybody is wondering about right now is what are these three starter Pokemon going to evolve into? What will the final stage evolutions look like for Browt, Pombon, and Gecqua, respectively? Well, I teamed up with an artist, Stanley Chu, who I've worked with prior on my other channel, DC Network, where we designed some Ben 10 aliens. And today here, I want to introduce to you the starter evolutions that we came up with for Browt, Pombon, and Gecqua. So without further ado, let's get into this. So Browt obviously is our grass type starter, which its name, if you don't know, is a combination of Beansprout and Brow. So for Browt's mid-stage evolution, we have Bushhawk, who is a pure grass type just like Browt, and its name is Bush and Hawk, a combination of those two words. As you can see here, Bushhawk is a bit more of a hawk than a Beansprout Pokemon, and it grows longer legs, becoming a little bit taller while also seeing those brows above its eyes grow as well. It's meant to be kind of like a non-flying bird, given that we can see with Browt here, its wings are super small, while these wings grow a little bit, but still not enough for Bushhawk to fly. But when Bushhawk evolves once again, it evolves into Castle Root, which Castle Root here becomes a grass and ground type, the first ever starter to have that typing since Torterra all the way back in Generation 4. Castle Root's name is a combination of cassowary and root, as I think many people within the community are expecting Browt's evolution to go somewhere like this, becoming a ground bird, becoming a bird that cannot fly, and in this case we designed Castle Root to be based on the cassowary, hence the reason why cassowary is a part of its name. As you can see with the design here for Castle Root, the brow that was above Browt and Bushhawk's head grows into this long leaf coming off its head. Its neck ends up becoming a stem, kind of like a root. Again, hence the reason why this Pokemon's called Castle Root. It's a cassowary root Pokemon, and it gets much longer legs as well with these bigger wings that, again, it can't fly with. But this Pokemon would be a speedy Pokemon. It would have a high speed stat, and it, in my opinion, is a really cool direction that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company could take with Browt's final evolution. So this is Browt's complete evolutionary line, going from Browt to Bushhawk to Castle Root. Next up for our trio of Generation 10 starters, we have Pombon. Now, Pombon obviously is our fire type starter, and if you guys don't know, its name is a combination of Pomeranian and Bonfire, also Bonbon as well, the candy. But for this evolutionary line that we're going to come up with here, we're going to focus mainly on Pomeranian and Bonfire. So Pombon here evolves into Cinderuff, which again is a pure fire type. You'll notice here that Cinderuff's fur becomes darker than what you see on Pombon here, and that is very intentional, as well as the flames going from that red to kind of like a greenish color. Again, that is intentional and will come into play further with the final evolution for Pombon here. But as for Cinderuff's name, it's a combination of Cinder and Roof. So Cinder because obviously it's a fire type starter, and Ruff because Ruff is the sound a dog makes. So Cinderuff is the mid stage for Pombon, and it evolves into Soul Blaze, which in my opinion is such a sick design. So Soul Blaze here becomes a fire and ghost type, which I know that's a typing that's been used twice before with Hisuian Typhlosion in Gen 8 and obviously Skeledirge in Generation 9, but I think that fire ghost fits this Pokemon really well, because obviously Pombon again is a Pomeranian bonfire Pokemon, and what happens at bonfires, well, ghost stories are told during campfires and whatnot. So I think that the ghost type is fitting for this Pokemon. And as for the name Soul Blaze, it's a combination of soul and blaze. Soul because of the souls that ghosts have, and blaze because again is a fire type starter. Taking a look at Soul Blaze's design here, there's a few things going on. Obviously the fur becomes much darker here, which is why you saw the fur progressively become darker and darker with Cinderuff as the mid stage, because it was hinting at, hey, the fur is going to become a very darker color here. And you can see as well that part of its design is the little green flames that we had coming off of its fur before kind of wisp off into the air. And the reason for that is because what happens at a campfire, what happens at a bonfire? Well, the flames of the campfire, the flames of the bonfire wisp off into the air, and that is exactly what's happening here with Soul Blaze in his design. The other elements that I want to talk about here is obviously you see some fangs, kind of giving it a more menacing look and ghostly look design. And the last thing which I really love about its design here, which is where the soul part of its name comes in, is if you look around the neck of Soul Blaze, it has this chain with this little orb with a little ember inside of it. That ember is meant to be souls because it's a ghost type Pokemon and it contains souls of departed Pokemon within that little chain. So overall, I absolutely love Soul Blaze, and quite frankly, it might be my favorite of the 3 final evolutions that we have come up with today. But last and certainly not least is Gecqua. So if you guys don't know, Gecqua's name is a combination of Gecko and Aqua. It is the water gecko Pokemon, our water type starter for this generation, and Gecqua evolves into Reptile here. Reptile is still a pure water type like Gecqua, and its name is a combination of Riptide and Reptile. Riptide is obviously something that happens within the ocean. It's when a current is a rip current, it can pull you out into sea. And Reptile, Gecqua, they're obviously reptile, so Reptile, it's a Riptide reptile. As you can see, it becomes much longer and its tail grows bigger while also gaining some fangs. I really like the direction of this design here, and quite frankly, I think it's a really strong mid-stage form for Gecqua, while Reptile evolves into Voltiguana here. So Voltiguana, if you guys can't tell from the design, is a water electric type. The reason why I went with water electric here for Voltiguana is because quite frankly, it's a really underutilized typing within the Pokemon world. The only Pokemon that have this typing are the Chinchou line. Chinchou and Lantern are the only water electric types in this franchise. Those came out all the way back in Gold and Silver Generation 2 in 1999. I think we're due for another water electric type, and what cooler way to do so than with Voltiguana here. So Voltiguana's name is a combination of voltage and iguana. Voltage obviously because it's an electric type, and iguana sticking with that gecko reptile theme that we had going on with Gecqua and Reptile. As for its design here, there's a little bit more going on than meets the eye. So first and foremost, I want to focus on the tail of Voltiguana. If you guys don't know, Gecqua is based on the fat tail gecko, which is why it has a fatter tail. So we stick with that theme here with its evolution in Voltiguana, but now at the tip of its tail, it kind of becomes like a battery, like an energizer. That little glowing portion you see there is where Voltiguana stores its electricity, and that electricity is generated within that tail to be spread throughout the rest of Voltiguana's body. As you can see, it has portions on its back that spark electricity through it, kind of like Typhlosion when its flames come out of its neck. Think the same thing, but with Voltiguana here. It even has electricity that comes out of the tips of its eyebrows, and its hands and feet glow yellow just because of the sheer amount of electricity that is within its body. Overall, I think this is a really cool direction to take Gecqua's evolution in, and think that this is a fantastic design here for Voltiguana. So there you have it. Those are the starter evolutionary lines for Generation 10 for Winds and Waves that Stanley Chu and I designed here. Just to recap the final evolutions real quick to have them all on screen together, we have Casaroot, the grass ground type Pokemon, we have Soul Blaze, the fire ghost type Pokemon, and Voltiguana, the water electric type Pokemon. I think that these are all fantastic designs, and I really hope that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company do something similar here with the actual final evolutions for Browt, Pombon, and Gecqua respectively. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about these designs that we showed off today. Is there a particular Pokemon that is your favorite here that we've shown off? Based on these final evolutions, which Pokemon would you choose when you start your adventure in the fall of 2027 in Pokemon Winds and Waves? Would you choose Browt so you could get the final evolution in Casaroot? Would you choose Pombon to get the final evolution in Soul Blaze? Or would you choose Gecqua to get the final evolution in Voltiguana? Let me know down below what you think about all the designs that we showed off here today. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from Trainer DC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.